All right, 3 more things. I told you, last video was an anomaly. I only told you one thing that's different in Vegas poker and every other city. Today, 3 things. The first 2 are kind of similar to each other and kind of similar to something I mentioned in the first video. If you missed the first video of this series, link at the top of the screen. The first one today is table changing. Now, I said table changing in another one. This is a different aspect of table changing. There are times I'm looking to change to a very, very specific table. This is what I talked about in the other video. And in Vegas, it doesn't mean as much because I don't feel like that table is still together by the time a seat opens and someone can fill my seat at my table and I'm allowed to move to the new table. But there are times I'm at a table that's just very weak. And this happens in all cities. And instead of looking around, sometimes I don't feel like it. Sometimes there's just too many tables to like go one by one and like really get a feel for what's going on at each table. If you're in a room with like 5 tables going, you're on one of them, there are 4 others, you can just kind of look around and see which one is the best of the other 4. You're in like Maryland Live and there's like 25 tables on 2 different floors. It's a much tougher task. So there are times I just ask for a table change to any other table. Say, I'm on table number 2. Can I move to any other table when it's available? In other cities, that's a great thing. Because if I'm doing that, I'm on a table and I don't feel like I can really find worse out there. If it's like an average table, I'll give it a chance for a while. Maybe it's like slightly below average, we have like a seat open, I'm like, maybe the next player who sits down will be great for the game. So I'm willing to like wait it out a little bit. If it gets to the point where I am looking for a change in other cities, I'm very confident that any other table they send me to is gonna be better. In Vegas, it's the exact opposite. There are times, if I'm rating like every table I've ever played from 0 to 10, and if you rate things 0 to 10, you should be using 2 decimal places. It's just polite. If I'm playing on a table and it's like a 4.12, well, in other cities, I ask for a change, and I'm very confident, like I said, the next table is going to be better than that. If I'm on a table in Vegas that's like a 4.12, there are times I'm like, I need to stay here. Because I'm worried if I ask for a transfer to another table, I'm only going to find worse. It's the exact opposite of how I feel in other cities, and I'll play that 4.12 out of 10 type of table for hours. Same thing with transferring casinos. I do casino hop a lot, but there are times I'm like, this game's not great. If I go to the next casino, if I go to Bellagio, am I gonna find better? If I go to Caesars, am I gonna find better? If I go to Venetian, like, am I starting to find better than this? I'm just gonna like spend time and I don't know if better things are gonna be happening. Now it's different if the table is like a 1.34 out of 10. Yeah, move. It's gonna be tough to find worse than that. But if you're in that like middle range, there are times I feel like this might be like the best. This might be like the best table on the block. Like, I can't leave and risk finding worse and then be mad at myself all night that I didn't stay here. Because it's not amazing, but it's like kind of solid / okay. And in that regard, table changing is a lot different. It's the exact same thing. Other cities, I am very confident I will only find better if I ask for a change to any other table, not being specific. In Vegas, if I ask for a change to any other table in the room, not being specific, there are times I feel like I'm really, really scared. I'm somehow gonna find a worse game than this, and I need to stay here as long as this table is playing like this, and just last as long as the table lasts, and then think of something else to do when this table breaks down. All right, second thing is seat changing. I know the words sound like table changing, but it's not exactly the same thing. Seat changing, here's the thing. In other cities, I feel like the difference between, like, just think of a number line here, or like a spectrum. The worst players in the city, in the room, and the best players, it's like a very wide range. The worst players are very, very bad. The best players are very, very good. In Vegas, it's more like here to here. Like, the worst players usually make mistakes on the conservative side. They're not like very, very bad. There's a lot of average players, a lot of break-even players, and the best players are usually not quite as good as they think. They like think they're world beaters. They're solid. They're difficult to play against. They're not like, you know, the next coming of Phil Ivey or anything like that. So the range is a lot smaller, I feel, in Vegas. When that's the case, table changing doesn't mean as much to me. Like, I can think of tables in like Milwaukee and Council Bluffs and Atlantic City. It's like, there's some very, very solid players at the table and some like really, really bad players. And seat changing in order to get position on the weaker players is really important, because so many hands are going to be against those players. And it's like, okay, if the solid guy is acting behind me, who cares? I'm not gonna make or lose much to him anyway. He's not gonna make or lose a lot against me, so I don't need position on that guy. I want position on the worst players who are gonna be playing too many hands and poorly, and let's get them acting out of position, and this will like really enhance what I make tonight. When it's like everyone is like fairly the same in this like much smaller spectrum, it's like, does seat changing do that much? It's like, a lot of times I think about it and I'm like, that seat might be a little better. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, instead of this guy 2 to my left putting me to some tough decisions tonight, if I'm in that seat, that guy 2 to my left is gonna put me to some tough decisions. Like, okay, I could move to that seat and get like, you know, a little bit of an edge on seat 6. I could stay here and I have a little bit of an edge on seat 2. I don't know. It doesn't mean as much when like, not everyone plays the same, but it's much closer. The difference between like the worst group of players out here and the best group is much smaller. And when that's the case, I don't feel like seat changing does as much. I don't seat change much at all in Vegas. And if I do, it's like very rarely. I think like twice last year in Vegas, I seat changed for like strategic reasons, occasionally for like a view or like leg room or like some reason like that, or someone like really annoying is next to me and I want to leave. I used to all the time for strategic reasons, and I still do in other cities. I just don't spend as much time now in other cities. And in Vegas, yeah, it's a lot less. So seat changing is also much different to me. I'm not sure if everyone would feel that way. A lot of the other things in this video series feel like they're more objective. This might be a subjective one, but to me, seat changing is a lot different in Vegas than every other city. Third thing, from my room in Planet Hollywood, which always has quite interesting art all over the room. Only second time I've been in here, but both times some interesting art. Anyway, third thing is how promotions affect the games. They do the same thing as far as the player pool goes, but it's a different type of player in Vegas compared to other cities. So in other cities, promos make the game better. In Vegas, promos usually make the game worse. Here's what happens. Normally, without promos, people play. There are people who play whether or not a certain promotion is going on. They play a lot. They play like, I don't know, 3 to like 6 times a week. There's a lot of people like that in every city. When a promotion is going on, some type of high hand or hours-based promotion, it draws in people who don't normally play. The thing is, the people that are drawn in Vegas are like people who don't normally play, and they see a promotion and they want to come to the casino, and if it's a high hand, they just like sit there and wait for royal flushes. Or if it's an hours-based promotion, they come to the casino every day for like 3 weeks and just get their time in and really want to play as few hands as possible. In other cities, it does the same thing. It draws in people who don't normally play. People who like kind of need something extra. Oh, there's poker in the casino, I'm aware of that. Kind of busy, I don't play a ton anymore, whatever. They might play like a couple times a month. There's a promotion going on, like a $500 high hand every 15 minutes. Oh, every 15 minutes they're giving away $500? Yeah, I'm going. I don't care how busy I am. I don't care that my kids need to be picked up. I don't care that I have a job. I'll just call in sick for 3 days straight. They get to the casino. The thing is, in other cities, those players, yeah, they're going there for the promotion, but they're not only thinking about the promotion. This happened a lot in 2020 in Baltimore, when I think every Thursday, it was one day of the week. The day of the week doesn't matter. It was $500 every 15 minutes. The room would be packed. Normally, the other 6 days of the week, it was solid. You know, like 1 p.m. on a Monday, probably only like 1 or 2 games going. But like weekday evenings, I don't know, like 5 games going. Thursday, all day during the promo period, there would be like 15 tables. Because there were people who lived in the area who didn't really want to play normally, but would play with $500 being given away every 15 minutes. And it was like 15 amazing tables, because these people aren't just waiting for royal flushes. They are in the casino because of the promotion, but they're gonna play the way they play, which is usually like really loose and wild and reckless and bad. In Vegas, when people are drawn in for a promotion, Venetian has a lot of large high hand payouts, and MGM and South Point often have something hours based. It draws in people who don't play every day all year, but during a promotion period will play a lot. And they play the way they play, which is like pretty tight, not reckless. The people often in the Las Vegas only poker hands who like have like top boat on the river and check back because they're worried they're up against quads, which I have seen. And the games are worse because of it. So promos do the same thing. They draw in people who don't normally play every single day. It's just that in Vegas, the people attracted to the casino are some of the tightest people in the city. And in places like Baltimore, Atlantic City, the Midwest, the people drawn in are people who don't play a lot, but when they play like they're at a home game with unlimited money. So that's the third thing. Promos affect games differently in Vegas compared to every other city, and I hope you're enjoying this series of Las Vegas poker differences. And remember, rice is a spoon food.